Andy Strossen from Iron Mind, looking forward to a 9-day journey, and a journey which is of extra importance given for the fact that this is not only the World Championships, but it's a really major opportunity for qualification for the London Olympic Games next year. And a lot of teams have already got a good number of places, but there's a huge entry here. And in fact, just the entry itself is impressive when you look at the number of competitors and the countries that are involved here, because the women's competition is over 50 countries represented, and we're coming up to the 48 kilo class to get us underway. Well, Randy, your first thoughts? You just arrived literally a couple of hours ago.
Right. Well, as you said, this is really where teams have the chance to qualify lifters for the London Olympics. That's what they're here. Lifters are almost being brought back out of the grave from the hospital, wherever they can find them. Teams are sending every lifter they can up to the maximum allotment, hoping to get the team points that in turn will give them slots in London. Starting things off, women, smallest class, but expect some pretty big weights here, I think.
Yes, the big news, though, that in the 48 kilo class, the world champion, Nurjan Thailand, as you see, Sylvia Angelova, Marjan Kapinska, I should say, right, from Poland, the under-23 50 kilo champion. This is Jenny Pagliaro. She won the under-23 title this season also, but at 48 kilos, today's weight category. And the first of two Thai lifters here, Wipada, who was a silver medalist just recently in the Asian Championships, and here's a teammate.
We've got about 2 minutes for the first lifter to come out. 3 attempts in the snatch. The openers will be a lift that the lifter expects to make a successful effort with, get on the board. We're going to see probably basically 2 subdivisions in this class. I think, David, we're going to see the first few women coming out, not really contenders for the top slots. We'll see the top lifters continue to warm up, and then the fireworks are going to start when the second half of the class starts. Lifters still warming up, getting psyched. Here's one of the front runners.
Signal's broken.
This is a very important feat because the first athlete to obtain a world record will receive a valuable prize from the Indeco company. So all be aware to this session, probably the next, in which the world record holder will receive a very valuable gift. That will start in just a few seconds. There is a change. Yes, 74 kilos, please. Within the time of 2 minutes, clock stops. The loaders provide 74 kilos, and the time continues for Sonija Chanu from India, second 74 kilos.
बहुत टाइम हमारा रिकवरी करना है हमने रिकवरी के लिए 2 मिनट होते चलो यही रिकवरी करो जब हम कहेंगे चलो तब चलना है आराम से सांस लो बेटा नॉर्मल करो पहले नॉर्मल करो आराम से बैक टाइट करो डेकोरेशन करो हिट फास्ट जंप फास्ट यस ऑन
From Azerbaijan. There is still one athlete that requires 75 kilos. It will be the third attempt for Sonija Chanu from India. Third attempt, 75 kilos.
लंबी सांस लो थोड़ी तो को बैक दबाओ पहले हिट फास्ट जंप फास्ट फास्ट यस ऑन
Kontrol çıkıyorsun. Dur bekle.
Sakin.
Very important time.
cas, un bon mixte sur les deux mouvements que sont là.
Nuran Kalagos with a lot on her shoulders because Nurjan Thailand, the defending world champion, who was so looking forward to a rematch with her Chinese rival, Tian Huan of China. She actually got injured a couple of days ago here. Not a big injury, but enough to, on the, you know, with only a few months to go to the Olympic Games, to rule her out of the competition. And, you know, she was tearful in her bedroom. I talked to the president of the Turkish Federation, and everybody, massive press contingent here from the Turkish weightlifting world, and they were really disappointed. But that's the disappointing news, but we focus on the competition itself now, as the former Bulgarian, now representing Azerbaijan, Silvia Angelova. Second attempt, 78 kilos. Well, got off to a good start at 75 kilos. Very interesting, I think, Randy, with competitors when they switch countries to see if they improve, how quickly they improve, but by how much they improve.
Right, because it's a bet. It's a bet on both sides. You know, is the lifter worth more or less than what the amount of payment was? And the expectation generally when a lifter leaves a country is that the lifter's thinking that they will have greener grass on that side of the fence. The country that they're leaving thinks, well, we got a good deal, we got money for this lifter.
Yeah, it's in her case, and also a lifter that you'll see this evening if you can be with us as well for the men's 56 kilo competition. In their cases, it was a situation that the weightlifting world in Bulgaria is in such disarray after all the doping offences, infringements, and an awful lot of politics, that in fact these young people actually pushed to get the transfer through so that they actually could continue their sport.
Does Bulgaria still have two federations?
Of that I'm not sure, but what I do know is that a lot of things have yet to be settled there.
Yeah.
So these kids have decided that, you know, there's a future. They were offered a future. They've actually done the permits. This young woman that you're watching here now actually competed in the Europeans, but actually didn't compete. She was about to compete in the final in Kazan in April, but the permit did not come through, and therefore she wasn't allowed on the stage. So coming out for a third attempt, a second attempt at 78 kilos. So it leaves her on 75 kilos. Just to put that in perspective, she competed for Azerbaijan in the World Championships last year, and actually in the first phase, the snatch discipline, collected 67, so 75 is an improvement on that. But as much as anything else, if you are in an unsettled environment, you're not likely to do very well or indeed improve. So hopefully things will go better for her. As you see, Jenny Pagliaro in this women's 48 kilo A final, the first gold medal final of the 2011 World Championships, 105 3/4 pounds or 7 stones, 7.5 pounds, whichever way you like to count it. And you're looking at this season's under-23 European champion at 48 kilos, Jenny Pagliaro, trying to re-establish herself, because 3 years ago on the eve of the Beijing Olympics, she set her best total of 194, and we've not seen anything like that since. I think that's good, because she is, like so many lifters, in need of confidence, and getting the first one away is really important.
Yeah, you know, especially with that little hiccup in her career that you mentioned. Bar staying close to the body. Now she's going to push her head over towards the left shoulder. Didn't make it look as if it was picture perfect finish, but she does the job. Bars overhead. Not a big margin for error in the snatch. Things really pretty much have to be where they need to be for the lift to be successful.
So onto the stage, the Thai lifter, 2 in the competition. This is Vipada Sirimonkorn, second in the Asian Championships, in the Junior World Championships this season in Penang. And this 80-kilo opener should be well within her reach.
You jinxed her.
Yeah, that's really disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, unusual that she's lifting with, snatching with the belt. We don't see that too much. Thailand, of course, has a strong tradition of women's lifting. Big pop, you could really see the second pull. Swung the bar a little bit, which is probably what made her lose it behind her head. Watch it. She's going to lose it behind. There she goes. Fights to try to hold on. Cannot. Knows it just wasn't where it needed to be.
So, yeah, hopefully that wasn't the commentator's curse. And it's interesting with the Thai women. When it comes to weightlifting in Thailand, of course, it's the women who fly the flag.
Right.
The vast majority of them based up at Chiang Mai, which is really being the great center for them. And probably mercifully with the horrific floods that they've all been suffering down in Bangkok as well. But this is our teammate. And loses it behind.
Yeah, very different lifting style, though. Watch, I mean, she comes off the floor quickly. I mean, it's almost ragged how fast she starts. Looks to have plenty of strength. Seemed to be a good lift. Nope, twisting. You can see the right arm starting to go. Her whole body turn around clockwise, rotating. Couldn't save the lift.
And what's really interesting in this competition, okay, we've lost Nurjan Thailand, and actually when you look at the numbers now, Randy, there's a 30-kilo spread between the 210 total entered by Tian Huan and, you know, the 180 of Sonia Chianu of India. But if you take away the 210, then you've actually only got 15 kilos between the rest. So, you know, there's some good fights to be done here, certainly for silver and bronze, if not for gold.
Nice lift here, turning the tide. Settles down, gets the bar under control, stands up, and now just has to wait for the down signal from the referee. 3 referees, 1 on either side, 1 in the middle. Takes 2 white lights to have a good lift.
Now, of course, Jenny with 80 kilos now, light body weight of 47 kilos 94, puts her into second place. So Karagos, who's got 80 kilos, 46.91. Now here comes again the first of the 2 Thai lifters, and 47.48. So this would take her into the early lead. Yeah, well, a relief.
Absolutely.
But I was going to say, Randy, I mean, she'd be kicking herself because, you know, she was doing 86 kilos in the Junior Worlds.
Right. She's happy. She knew she had that before she stood up. Just had to stay in control as she recovered. Good lift. Way to come back. Well, she's really heavily wrapped around the wrist. Look at this.
So can our teammate replicate? And the answer is yes, I would say.
Nice the way they came back from missing an opener. That's a tough position to be in.
But I think that's good. And the bar goes up a kilo for Karagos, Nurdan Karagos, who is improving. I like the way that the Turkish lifters are bringing her on very slowly, very gently. And I think that's a characteristic, Randy. They can do it because normally they know that Thailand is there, so they don't have to put pressure on the other lifter in that way. They can say, right, take your time, build. Now, in fact, it's the clock has sorry, I should say the kilos have gone to 82 for Marja Karpinska of Poland. Poland, who incidentally just a couple of days ago awarded the right to host and stage the 2013 World Weightlifting Championships. 2014 eludes my memory at the moment, but I'll get it back. And then Houston, Texas. Oh, it's Astana in Kazakhstan in 2014, and 2015, Houston, Texas. For once in your life, it'll be a local flight round here.
Almost the same time zone, not quite, but close.
Right, very good and improving young Polish lifter. Under 23 champion at 53 kilos, has come down back to 48 for this competition. Really good speed.
Yeah, I made that look easy.
So at the moment, in the lead in first place, Karpinska, 82 kilos, more than anybody else, weighed in at 47.69, sort of in the middle of the weight range.
Right. She's looking very confident, though. I mean, the way she's coming out, she's very relaxed. She's lifting well within herself. I don't think there's a lot of pressure on her. They're not expecting her to win.
No. But I'm looking for some new marks. I'd like to see her sort of get up to 84, 85 kilos. And here's another youngster representing Moldavia, 18 years of age, Kristina Jovu, the youngest in the class, entered a total of 195, which puts her up there for contention in the medals if she delivers. This for the lead. Oof.
When you start to lose the bar behind, it puts a lot of stress on the elbow, and if you hang on too long, you'll break your arm at the elbow or dislocate. I think she stretched it a little bit. She's going to grab that right elbow. Hopefully she'll be back for her next attempt.
And she's another lifter who...
You can see the elbow on that. I'm sorry, David. You can see the slow-mo. You can see the elbow flexing, popping out.
I was going to say, sorry, Randy, I should have interrupted you at that point. She's another lifter who's come down for 53 back to 48. And here comes Jenny. So now, 3 kilos more on the bar. And in her best ever season, 88. That was in 2008 in Lignano. She actually won the gold medal in the Europeans at that particular time.
Right.
So 2 out of 2.
Yeah, the Italian fans are happy about that. You know, she was a bit of a rising star then, and then lost some of that luster. Coming back from that now, she's off to a good start here tonight, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, our problems are really nothing more than you get with a lot of young people, adolescents, boyfriends, girlfriends, all that sort of stuff. Actually, since we last saw her in the Europeans, actually the problem, sorry, not the problem for her, she's actually signed a 4-year contract in the Army.
Yeah, they're still checking her elbow.
Second attempt for Jovu from Moldova. She's consuming
well,
1 minute.
This is where you err on the side of safety. The problem is there's extra pressure here because a lot of these teams are looking for points to build for London.
Yeah. She's going to be, she'll have that on her mind too. It'll weigh on her when she goes out there, David. Concerned about this elbow when she has that moment of commitment going under the bar. She's pumping the arm though as if it feels good. I think she's going to be fired up and will be coming out for the attempt.
Well, there's a positive, strong walk onto the stage. Yeah. About business. Looking for 3 out of 3. Nice sequence. And Nurdan, 76.80, useful increase. Pity just pushing herself a little bit into new territory in terms of personal best.
Yeah, we'll see. I think in the replay, the right arm wasn't quite locked out. Watch the right arm. Doesn't go to full extension. Can't really see it so well from that angle. If you see it from the front, you'll notice it. Our bar has to go to full extension. See the arm break. What I mean by break is not snap the bone, but just unlock.
But those are the sort of lifts, if you want to be in the fight for the medals, you need to make. But as I was saying, the pressure on someone like Kristina Jovu with that injury is the fact that so many of these teams are looking for points. Now, those points are given according to the place you finish in the overall ranking. That isn't, by the way, Nurdan Karagoj. This is Marzena Karpinska, 84 kilos, second attempt, looking to regain the lead from Jenny Paligaro. So it's Poland versus Italy. Oh, that was near. That was very close.
Yeah, she fully expected to make that. Lots of zip on the bar coming up. Very disappointed, obviously, that she missed this lift. Lots of speed, just wasn't quite there. Didn't fix the bar overhead. Bar's a little bit out front, it looks like, too.
Now, she was lifting that in the summer in Bucharest in the under-23s at 53 kilos.
Right.
I'm pretty sure she can do this, you know. It's just a setback, but it's one she now needs to really overcome, because she's got this one more life, and those extra couple of kilos could be very, very useful.
And she's obviously not afraid of that weight either, so that'll be in her favor.
Yeah, just to reiterate that Tian, the Chinese lifter who's very much the favorite now, yet to start her campaign. So this is Wipada. Wipada from that Chiang Mai stable. Well, that was just never anywhere, was it?
No, yeah, quite a few misses actually in the snatches, I'd say, in this class. Not the best for either the lifters or for the fans. The continuity gets broken. Once you start missing, it seems to be easier to continue to miss. But I think the tide's about to shift here pretty soon. We have one more attempt before time comes out, right?
Yeah, just looking at the opening.
There's one attempt left, and then we're going to see the person we expect to be the long ball hitter in the class.
Yeah, Tian, who posted 85 kilos as her starter, but this is Marzena.
Right.
Third and final attempt. This is very important. If you want to be in with a shout of getting onto the podium, needs to make this. Oh.
Boy, cookie cutter. Yeah, this is kind of like a repeat of the second attempt, and once again, very disappointed.
And she knows, because she'll be aware to a certain extent of what's been happening around her. You know, the Thais missed their first attempts, you know, and she just seen Wipada miss her second attempt. So this would have been a great one to make. Well, here she is in your picture. Tian Huan from China, the Asian champion this year, total up 186 to take that title. But she was the bronze medalist last year behind Nurjan Thailand, and totaled 204. Now, she made all 6 lifts in Antalya, but she was still actually beaten by 10 kilos. But this is a year on. So this would take us straight into the lead, 85 kilos. And weighed in at 47.76, not the heaviest, but this to get her on her way.
Whoa. Boy, she smoked that. That's what a snatch should look like. It should look light. It should be fast. The bar should be accelerating as it's going past the knees. Makes us look light. Boy, that was just picture perfect. You know,
I'm quite interested, though, on the opening there, because 85 is pretty conservative for her. You know, she did 88 last year in the World Championship. She did 93 in the Asian Championships. So that's a very conservative over, but she's perhaps just doing the right thing, reacting to the field, and then going for glory when she's done the job.
Right.
Oh, well, this is a horrible situation for the ties.
You know, you hit the nail on the head, I think, with that, David. They're going for the gold first here, literally, you know, win the gold medal, then big numbers on the scoreboard. We'll probably see, I think, a conservative increase for Tian on the second attempt because she just wants to stay in gold medal position first.
Now, Jenny. Well, opportunity.
Yeah.
3 out of 3 and 85 kilos. And at 47.94, she's right at the heavy end of the class here, so she's got to make these. Well, I think that was almost lost in the head more than in the arms.
Well, you know, David, it's interesting you say that because I think that was a big lift in that she was in silver medal position already.
Yeah.
In a way, you know, her back wasn't to the wall, but it would have been a good time to get that little bit of an added total, you know, bigger number going in.
Yeah, well, she's actually, you know, still sitting in silver medal position despite that.
No, that's what I mean. She already had the silver medal, and so in a way, you can kind of see, well, it's a test of her medal. She doesn't really need it, but it would be good to have it in the bank at the end of the day today.
Absolutely, because in the clean and jerk, the second phase, somebody might come up and bite you.
Absolutely right. So you don't want to be too harder, but it's too bad she missed that.
87 kilos on the bar for Tian Juan.
The conservative increase we talked about.
And of course, she's got the 85, so she's secure and safe. And just confirmation that Christina Jovu, well, she's not coming out, which means she can't get a total, the Moldavian. And that was pretty straightforward as well.
Stuck it again. Seems to be lifting well within herself. You say she did 88 last year. Let's watch this. Boy, look at that. Just perfect. Separates the bar from the platform. Comes off the floor slowly. Big explosion at the knees. You can see that. The knees bending again for the second pull. Gets the bar overhead. Nice lift.
Well, you say that, Randy. I mean, Asian Championships, 93 snatch, 93 clean and jerk, 186. That was in Tongling on a home stage for her in China. And also, the promise was there in 2010 when she won the European Youth, sorry, not European, the Youth Olympic competition in Singapore with a total of 190.
So now she's going to 90, which is, you know, moving up. I think it's still going to be well within her ability, but it's a step up from where she was last year.
Yeah.
This is important, but as we've said, this is a stepping stone. London is really the destination people have in their mind here tonight.
We will have the clean and jerk afterward, but right now, 90 kilos.
Well, the other thing is also China, who've got a reservoir of talent. You want to make your mark because you can only select 6 men and 4 women, and you want to be one of those for sure.
Yeah. I think for maybe a lot of the Chinese lifters, it might almost be tougher to make their team than to win in London.
So she's following herself, so she's got plenty of time.
2 minutes when a lifter follows himself or herself. A little bit more time to rest. She's ready to come out. I think this weight is well within her ability, which is part of why she's not using up the full 2-minute rest that she's allotted. She's really taking her time chalking up. know if we've lost our signal. I think we have. I don't know if we're transmitting or not, but that was an excellent lift. Just like the first two, only more weight on the bar.
So we come to the end of the first half of the competition. And the snatch phase, there's a 10-minute interval now for them to get ready. But the reality is that 90 kilos is the advantage that Tian Wan has built up, which gives her, in fact, over Jenny Pagliaro, who's her closest pursuer, 7 kilos and body weight. So that's a highly significant amount of advantage, and it really says that the rest are chasing for silver and bronze.
Right. You know, we talked earlier about how in a class like this there will be two subdivisions. Tonight, the way it's shaping up right now, we have one lifter and then all the others. And as you point out, the other lifters might not be in contention for the gold, but they will be fighting, be very competitive for the silver and for the bronze.
前面，脚在前面，不是，还有哪里呢？需要帮我拿瓶矿泉水过来，这水是甜的。
差个礼要不要？
不用，需要我只起一个，起多少消化不了。
Welcome back to the Dome Disneyland for the highlights of the women's 48 kilos. I have to apologize for a lot of gremlins that got into our presentation. We hope to actually try to improve as you see the highlights from the first part of the competition.
Śpiet klataj, pełny gaz. Śpiet, chłopacy. Trzymaj.
Well, Randy, whilst we try and resolve our technical problems here, let's just have a little think about this particular class. One of the things that strikes me about it is that, you know, how competitive is the women's world 48 kilo class?
Well, you know, I think what we're seeing here, David, is maybe not that atypical in that in a class of maybe, say, 8 or 10 top lifters in a B session, I'm sorry, in an A session, you're going to have 2 or 3 that are really kind of head and shoulders above everyone else. Well, we had the casualty before the class even started of one of those. And so we've got the front runner, and then we've got everybody else. And it's competitive below. Would have been competitive at the top if we hadn't had the injury. But tonight, it's one person out for the gold and everyone else fighting for the silver and the bronze, I think.
Absolutely. Tian Wan, pretty straightforward and impressive. You know, 3 out of 3, 85, very steady opener for her, 87 and then 90. That was her progression. And, well, I suppose, you know, 18 years of age can go a long way. And if you actually look at this category over the years, I mean, it's been predominantly a Chinese feast, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, Turkey's, you know, roared in between, but the Asian countries, I mean, China in particular, China and women's weightlifting are really closely tied together as far as top performances. I think this is big, David, you know, even beyond the number. The 90's nice, okay, but it's 2 kilos more than she did last year in the World. The trajectory is right, but more importantly, she was lifting well within herself. 90 was not tapping everything she had.
No, and I suppose you could say that, you know, she's, if she is the one they've got in their mind to actually, you know, take them to London 2012, then, you know, they're looking at that trajectory, that path of improvement to bring her forward. You know, they don't need to break the bank here.
Yeah, they don't want to break any of her bones either along the way. They want her healthy.
Well, this is the scene in the warm-up room behind. This is actually, it's almost like a circus tent. And the warm-up room, well, it's, shall I say, cozy. It's, you know, you really, actually, you want one of the near platforms here. We're going to take a little break in a moment and then get ready for the second half. And fingers crossed that the gremlins that plagued us in the first half in Delhi. And that was a disappointing performance. She was nailed on for the gold medal, the Indians thought. She had a bad day, only 2 out of 6, but she is a former Commonwealth Games champion. Well, that's a lot better. She's a police inspector by profession, comes from Uttar Pradesh, although she's based out of Lucknow. And although she was the silver medalist in the Commonwealth Games last year, she got revenge on her rival from Nigeria when she won the Commonwealth Championships this year.
Look how wide her grip is on this jerk. Boom. Nice lift.
Yeah, great competition. I really enjoyed myself in Delhi last year. It was a whole world of lifters that we often don't see, or who would be in, you know, B, C, and in some cases D groups here. But, you know, it's terrific. That was their, you know, stage and their limelight, and they were really easy to actually be with and learn, you know, the whole of the oceanic world as well, which is an improving world for the weightlifting federations now. There's a lot of talent being developed out there. And now onto the stage, Silvia Angelova. Angelova, who wanted to compete in Kazan, couldn't because the Azerbaijan permit to change her nationality hadn't been approved. Good lift, 95 kilos. She only got 1 out of 3 in the first half of the competition. And actually, that's not Chanu. That's a wrong caption, actually. Chanu's the next lifter to appear on the stage.
Very quick under the bar here. Doesn't have a lot of extra reserve standing up as far as leg strength goes. She's going to stick this jerk. I think she's going to lower the bar a little bit on the fast side. Let's see when she really lets go of it. Boom. Well, her hands are in contact with the bar, which is all the rule requires. Nice lift.
So at the moment, she's a 50% lifter, but she has totaled 170. Compare that with last year, when she actually left the stage with only 149. But this is Chanu, back to her. Chanu, who's got a personal best in competition at 183. Second attempt. This for 171. That was better than the first one.
Yeah, another good look. She's got a good string going here. She's 5 for 5 right now, right? And looking confident. executing this lift very smoothly. Pulls the bar up, gets under it, elbows high. That's to help lock the bar in. Shoulders, dip, drive, gets the body under. There's the jerk. Very solid.
Take me back in time, because there's a name that's, it was the World Weightlifting Championships in 1995 in Guangzhou.
Yeah.
And it was an Indian woman who was the lifter, who then went on to get to a final medal in Sydney. And she was the first Indian woman to win a world title in any sport.
You know, Guangzhou 95, all I remember is that's when you first graced weightlifting with your presence, right? That's my dominant memory of that World Championships.
I'll try and gather up the name in a moment.
Boy, she did all the tough stuff. You're going to see some things that we kind of saw at stage set 4 on the first attempt. Mentioned on the first attempt, she didn't have a tremendous amount of extra leg strength. Didn't seem standing over the bar. Watch, she's got the double bounce to stand up. She's got a little momentum to stand up. We saw a strong jerk on the first attempt. We're going to see that again here. I think she's going to get the bar over her head and then lose it when she recovers. Think the bar's there, a little bit out front. She's pushing forward. Ah, too bad. Coaching from up here, you'd say, gosh, why didn't she push back with the front foot? Easy for me to say.
Absolutely. So she's got 2 minutes to follow herself. We've been to some interesting venues over the years, Randy. Disneyland, yet another one to add to the list.
Yeah, the inside of this is really quite dramatic, right? I mean, it's dark. I mean, they've done some of the things that we've talked about in the past, right? Keeping the stage lit and keeping the spectator area dark. Often it's the opposite in weightlifting. The stage is dark and it's well lit where everyone's sitting. This is kind of nice looking. We're up high. I mean, we practically need oxygen. We're sitting so high above the stage. Took 3 bounces, I think, that time to be able to stand up. Takes a really tough lifter to go ahead and really go for the jerk at that point. That exhausted, the weight feels really heavy on you. She's going to try to summon everything she's got here. Deep breath, get the will. But she cracks.
So Marzena Kapinska, who started brightly but actually subsided much to our disappointment.
Yeah. 2 misses in the snatch, not what she wanted coming into the clean and jerk. Has to turn things around here.
Got a bronze medal, though, from the snatch phase, despite all of that. But that was because there was a high level of failure, but... So 98 kilos secures the total for her.
Once again, leg strength isn't really looking where I would think they would want it to be. Tougher to stand up. Talked earlier about a wide grip. She's got a narrow grip, elbows out front. Great lockout. Look how the arms hyperextend. Gets a good bone-on-bone lockout in the jerk, which is what you want. You can see it in the close-up. Nice lift.
Got a 180 total, so is in the lead. The only thing that worried me was, did you just sense that a bit of zest had gone out of her?
I thought she came back looking pretty good. Missing those 2 snatches and, you know, expressing the disappointment. She acted it out on stage. That takes some psychological energy. I think, you know, that she would probably rather have in her pocket right now.
Yeah. Because if you think about that 84, you know, the extra couple of kilos. I mean, she posted a total of 192. You know, she's got 180. That's beyond her now. She can't get to 192. That's Kavinska, but it's going to be Jenny Pagliaro from Palermo in Sicily, and
looking very focused, right?
Yeah, this is great. I just wonder, signing that 4-year contract to be a soldier in the army, that may well be, you know, really helping her, because she's, in a sense, marching on to some purpose. So Jenny on the bar, 100 kilos. Now, this would be a season's best.
Well, not what you want.
Well, it's interesting because I just heard the public address announcer, you know, comment and say a little bit too hasty. I'm not sure I would go along with that.
Punched it up front.
Yeah.
The second attempt always precedes a third attempt.
There's Christina Yovu, who, as I said, just towards the end of the first half of the competition, that injured elbow, and they've had no alternative but to save her for another day.
They were working on it all along, you know, massaging it, spraying it, testing it, but I think they're going to be cautious here. They're maybe hoping to roll her out.
Well, the problem, as I said, you know, for a lot of nations, Moldavia, Turkey even, it would apply to, losing Nurjan Thailand, particularly, you know, the sort of points she can tally up, actually dents their chances of getting, you know, 4 places to go to the Olympics, which is the maximum you can have. So likewise for the Moldavian girl, being in an A final, she has the potential not only to do very well, but also to, you know, score some, you know, some big points. To try and at least get, you know, like 1 place for their country. So on the stage goes Jenny Pagliaro. That's Aldo, her coach there, who spends half his time coaching and the other half being a technology expert. Now 103. 100, and that's what she needs to try and get. She needs this badly. This would take her to 183 if she gets it and the lead.
Stronger clean, but still no result in the jerk. A lot of pressure on her now. 2 misses.
And this is really where you don't want to be, because you know, 1 more and then that total disappears, and again, you know, that reborn confidence which she was sort of showing at the beginning of the first half of the competition suddenly evaporates away.
Yeah, you know,
I want to interrupt here because I've dredged it up from the memory bank here.
Good for you.
Karnam Malazwari.
I could never have done that.
In what was the 54 kilo category at that time, because the category has only changed. But she remains the 1 Indian woman ever to win a world weightlifting title. Well, China really pushing herself, 2-1 against, and I'm not, well, I don't think I disagree with that, actually. What do you think?
Well, let's see.
Jenny Pagliaro from Italy. It is
now
that she dominates this way.
there is a press out there, you know.
You know, we're up here, they're down there. I'm going to be cautious on this. I'm going to say they're absolutely right.
I mean, we are, what are we? We're probably, 40 meters away from the stage?
3 rests is the way I counted it.
Yeah. Well, good contingent of Italian noise here to try and lift Jenny. She's just got to stay extremely focused. You know, at the height of her career, 106 was possible. But now 100 to stay alive. The bronze medalist from the first half of the competition. Sorry, the silver medalist from the first half of the competition.
Watch as she gets set for the jerk. That's going to be key here, I think. Okay, this is it. Right here. Yes, I think there's something going wrong there. I mean, obviously she's missing the weight, but I'm not sure if she's dipping too fast and then she's backing out when she goes for the jerk. Watch when she racks the bar. Here it comes. She's going to stand up. She's going to get set. She should dip slowly, then explode upward, and then the feet should go out. And it's just, you know, she wasn't committed. Boy, you could see that in the overhead. She did not really go for that.
Yeah, she didn't really go to get under that bar.
Really a soft, you know, entry under the bar. She knows it.
Well, we move on straight away to Wipada Sirimongkong from Thailand, and also on a bit of a rescue mission here. Look at that real concern on the coach's face.
Yeah, don't tell her a joke right now.
Now, how much damage can she do? Oof.
Well, I don't know. I think the Red Sea is continuing here. This is like the class of the misses, David. I think, you know what? We have Gremlins up here. Everyone getting settled here was a little difficult, you know. And we're seeing the same thing now in the first class of the, you know, the A session. Things are just a little rough. Hopefully they'll smooth out. A lot of misses. Watch, she's going to punch the bar up, tries to lock it out, loses it behind.
I mean, that's, at the moment, 1 out of 4. And really disappointing. I mean, it's interesting, actually, in the junior worlds, when she got the silver medal, she actually tried 108 a couple of times. Now, Nurdan Karagos, could she take a bit of an advantage here?
Boy, after all those missed jerks, it's really nice to see someone just stick one. Yeah, not as if she had the easiest time, excuse me, standing up with the weight, but watch the command that she has on this jerk. Under the bar, racks it, it's going to stand up, got to work a little bit here. Now she's going to dip and drive. You'll see the feet split front and back. That's to get her body under the bar. Watch there, boom. Box it out, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and that gives her a 181, which at the moment puts her into the lead. So, you know, that's where people like Marjana Kapinska, who's on the stage now, this is, you know, where have they blown their opportunity with their failures? It's now up to Kapinska to come back and try. She's on a 180 total at the moment. She's only going up a kilo, so body weight comes into play here. Karpinska lighter, so she'll go into first place by virtue of body weight if she chucks it, and that was much more committed.
Yeah.
That's better. You know that you just, you know, when she was doing it and now seeing her after that, you know, that's put her back on track. She's not going to get to 192, but she's put herself in there with a, you know, a shout of a clean and jerk medal.
Should have worked to stand up, wiggled around a little bit, you know. jerk didn't really look that pretty in some ways, but good, aggressive, solid, no doubt about it sort of lift.
Interesting word, Randy, aggressive, and this sport requires aggression.
Particularly on the jerk. I mean, you really feel as if you want a carnivore out there for that jerk. You got to have a little bit of a mean streak.
Now, what's happening here? Is this strength or technique?
Well, in the jerk, you got to have strength. You cannot lift a lot of weight without strength, but there is technique also. How's that for a waffle answer?
Yeah, that's both sides of the hedge, but
right.
Let's hope she gets a really good economical clean. Not too bad. Yeah, walks about a bit, but the feet are in line or need to be steady. I'd give her that.
Yeah.
And they have.
Yeah, no bonus points for covering the extra territory. Now watch how easily she stands up with this relatively, an indication of strong legs. Watch this, boom. Stands up easily, gonna punch the jerk. She's gonna wander around a little bit on the platform with the bars overhead, but just getting control, not a big deal.
So that effort put her into overall third. Just has one more attempt, still waiting now for her teammate to start. That's Panina Khamsi. And just to illustrate the gulf between the majority of the field and the lone Chinese lifter, 113 kilos is the weight that Tian Huan has posted for her first clean and jerk attempt. So, you know, it's going to be a repetition of the first half where she watches everybody get their business done before she comes out into her office.
Right. Locks up the gold on her first attempt, and then maybe a couple more conservative increases after that. Just testing the water a little bit, letting her see what she can lift fairly comfortably, and basically stamping, hey, we've won this meet. You know, they don't want to show all their cards here either. They're not going to really show what she can do and tell the world at this point.
Yeah, well, one of the problems we've got really is the loss of Nurjan Thailand, because that was going to be the renewal from last year,
right.
And that was going to be the battle royal. Nurjan desperately, you know, wanted to. And it's funny, I was talking to Hassan Hakush, the president, and he was saying the day before in the training, she went into the training hall and they had training weights, and she came back to him and she said, goodness gracious, are they real? Because that was easy.
Yeah.
This isn't. But that's very good, strong jerk overhead for 103. And this is the second of the Thai lifters, 3 years older than her competitor, or you could say with that many more years of experience. Randy, good start.
Yeah, big pop in the second pull. She gets the fairly wide grip, dip, jerk, great jerk, really solid. No, she has it. Can afford to smile at that point.
So Nurudan, an extra couple of kilos on the bar here for 103. Now this is definitely a season's best, if not a personal best by my reckoning. So interesting that it's coming on the second attempt.
Yeah, she's fairly buried by that weight, though. Could be just that it was a little bit out of position, might have been out front. Let's see if she really commits. No, she's saying that's a little heavy. Come back and try this again. She's got another attempt.
Of course, the clean and jerk.
Yeah, she's really getting buried. I'm sorry, David. She's losing her balance to the back, but you can see she got driven down to rock bottom on that.
And of course, it's her teammate, the absent Thailand, who is the clean and jerk world record holder at 121 kilos. Now that's why we've lost a bit of fun through Nurjan's injury here,
right? Because
that really would have, you know, I think thrown, you know, into question Tian's dominance of this particular competition. But now Karpinska.
Whether or not she can stand up with the weight or how easily she does might be the key for her in this attempt.
So this is for 185.
And she can't. Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Well done, Brandy. Well, not actually. I'm sympathetic for her, but you know, complimenting you because you judged it absolutely right.
Yeah, you can see she was tapping out on her leg strength. Lots of pull, gets under the bar, and this is the strength aspect of the lift, David. This is not technique. This is just, are your legs strong enough to stand up? Just strength. Do you have the horsepower? She just didn't. The technique part of this, the lifter will try to time the lift so that they catch the bounce perfectly, get the advantage of a rebound, but in the end, you got to have the quad and hip strength to stand up.
Currently, these are in second place, but she's still got some sort of chance because with the number of failures around, but you know, you can see now that in fact Panida Khamsiri, who's first overall in the clean and jerk, I mean, she could be taking overall silver here. This is our teammate going for 103. Well,
really a nice lift.
Isn't that the best lift she's done? Out of all the 6 lifts she's attempted, that is the best one, and it's the right time to do it because it takes her to 183. She's lighter than her team weight, so actually at this moment by body weight she goes into the overall lead.
And you see how easily she stood up with that weight, which meant that when she was coming into the jerk, she had all that extra reserve, both physical and psychological. She wasn't maxed out standing up, not even close to it. Good lift.
Well, after, you know, she's had a horrible afternoon here, and yet that was definitely the best lift of her day. Now Nurdan. Looked like a combination of information and prayer.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, she's got up there. Well done. Now, big effort. Come on, come on. Yes, very good indeed. Very good indeed.
Top lifter. I mean, because she had to really work to come up with that weight. She had missed it before. Comes back, gets under the bar, takes some courage to do it. Just to wonder, she knows how heavy it's going to be, and she's going to go for it on the jerk, and she's going to make it.
Yeah, and she's yet another lifter on 180. So I'm just trying to check on this Nurdan Karagos. They put her into first place. I'm just 46.91. She's the lightest of the class. That is why. She just missed out a medal in the snatch phase, but just looking at who's left out there to lift now, we've got Khamsiri for Thailand, who's got 2 attempts left, and Tian Huan with all 3. So, you know, the fact that she's in the lead now, that's the reason for all the smiles and cheers, because that was a huge lift.
Right.
It means that whatever happens, she is on the overall medal podium. She cannot be worse than 3rd. She leads at the moment, but if Khamsiri Panida comes out and does this, then she will go into the lead.
Right. And she has 2 shots. She got 2 attempts left.
Absolutely. But maybe she wants to have a bit of fun and go for a clean and jerk gold. No, I'm teasing.
Well, gold medal position.
Do the job now.
Whoa.
Secure the overall silver medal.
Right.
That was why it was only 1 kilo. It wasn't very, shall I say, elegant, but it got the job done.
Yeah, she didn't really get set for that jerk. She moved pretty quickly in the transition from the clean to the jerk. And I think had she missed the jerk, they would have really chastised her for that. She's going to go pretty quickly. Watch, Barretta's going to get set. Boom. Nice strong jerk, though.
You know what's interesting?
Silver medal position.
Randy, when I look,
silver medal, actually, no one can knock her out.
Absolutely, but when I look back and you see all the smiles there, what's also really good news when I look through, you know, 2010, before she was junior world champion in 2009, and also a junior world medalist in 2008. She's been in the 170s. Now she's in the 180s.
Right.
You know, and you know, she's only 22. Got one more to go. Now remember, Tian has posted 113 and it's still there as her opening weight. She hasn't changed it at all. So Khamsir is right on her own here. She has to do what she wants to do. But this is where I suspect the coaches are going to try and just push her a little bit. What's she got? Let's see. Let's find out what she's got.
Yeah, because she doesn't really have to take the lift in terms of improving her position, but they're saying, go out, you got an attempt, put a little bit more weight on the bar, make the lift.
Who are trying to do their best, only for themselves, but also to honor the country they represent.
Allez, encore une minute.
So Tian still on 113, nothing's changed. She's just anxious to get out there.
So they obviously saw the 104 as a certain lift. They just didn't lock in that position. Now they've actually gone up a little bit in weight, up 3 kilos.
Oh, incredibly intelligent, the right thing to do. Just put the kilo on to secure both clean and jerk silver and overall silver. And now,
let's see if she can lift this.
Yeah.
Oh, strong, strong. It's better than her second attempt.
Absolutely, but I think that's the relaxation that comes in. The tension goes out of her because she's done the job, and now comes in with a 107. And where that puts her, I think, is in a very good position to think about next year's Olympic Games.
Yeah, I think she was a bit complacent on the second attempt. It was sort of like, oh, I got to lift this weight, and was almost a little too casual about it. Whereas this one, she approached more seriously. Beautifully executed lift, strong lifter.
Because what you have to look at is who isn't here. And as you might have expected, Tian has modified her opening clean and jerk lift here. She's brought it down from 113 to 108. I think that was very predictable.
Just to get the gold medal, lock up the gold medal in the jerk.
Absolutely.
Gold in the total, make it as easy as possible, and then move on a bit probably after that.
Well, it's up to her, really, because, I mean, she could win this with 4 lifts.
Yeah, she could stop after this lift.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't think she'll do that, though. I think they'll have her do all 3 clean and jerks.
Well, I was about to say who isn't here. Well, the big person who isn't here is Nurjan, Thailand. So, you know, how much do the Chinese want to tell, you know, Nurjan how good this particular lifter is? You know, Thailand maybe 121, but, you know, that was last year. You can't just say, well, she did 121 last year, so she'll automatically do that this year. You know, she hasn't really been given a test so far. And in some ways that can be even more difficult because you've got to maintain your focus, you know, even though the opposition isn't quite what you expected it to be.
There is a technical situation that we need to correct.
Stopping the lifter, I'm not sure what the problem is. Do you know, David?
No, I've just heard the announcer say that they have a technical issue.
Well, why are they doing that? After we explained the logic of the original choice, why are they going against what we thought was a wise selection?
Yeah.
It's interesting. She's going through the motions of the lift on the stages. They're changing the weight.
I'll tell you what, she was on stage, so she certainly had no part of that decision.
Yeah.
That was a coach's call.
Yeah, I don't know what was behind that.
– 18 years of age.
Well, look pretty easy. They can put 5 more kilos on front of lift just as easily.
It's just a question of where you want to be, really, isn't it? Well, they'll put a kilo on, but I'm just having a look here. Junior women's clean and jerk record held by Wang Mingwan of China is 118. Now, she's 18 years of age, so I suppose you could take that as a target.
Yeah, not tonight, I don't think. They're a bit far from that. Well, I mean, big increases.
Yeah, but she's not going to take an extra kilo. She comes out.
She's not going to go for 112.
And still there is a possibility with her third attempt to go even higher.
It's, you know, when you look at it, you know, Nurjan won last year with a total of 214. The Olympics, Chen won it with 212. 214, the world title in 2007 in Chiang Mai. It's been well into the sort of, you know, 210s and.
Okay, I think they are considering this, David. I was going to say, let's see if they go into the range of something like 115 on their second attempt. They are. I think that they're positioning themselves possibly for a shot at that.
Well, that's the only thing.
This goes. I'm sorry.
Well, it's going. Where's it going? 115.
115. See, now that puts her within range of taking a world record attempt on the third attempt if this is successful.
Oh, right. I see where you're getting at. Yeah.
See, they had to take a big move up, or they were going to signal it right away, depending on this weight selection in the second attempt. And they're telling us they're thinking about it. So let's see how she does in 115. I think she's going to handle it the way she did the opener. I mean, the opener looks so well within her ability. So we're not going to wait very long for that Aleko set maybe to be given away for that 1,000th world record.
Well, does it count as a junior or does it have to be a senior?
I think any world record. Right. I mean, maybe even we could go out as a master, right?
Well, hey, you know, when she took the bronze medal in Antalya last year, clean and jerk, 116. She did a 6 out of 6 set last year in Antalya. She didn't do anything wrong. She was just, you know, but she was a 17-year-old then. Well, I'll tell you, that's a face of confidence on the coach there. He reckons this is easy peasy, but there's no such thing as easy peasy. More than half a minute, so she's got plenty of time to compose herself. – 115 kilos. And remember, she weighs 47.76. Would you define that as easy peasy?
Well, she obviously felt the need to get a little more psyched for this. Yeah. But as far as executing the lift, there were no hitches. I mean, she wasn't close to being tapped out yet. She had to think about it. You know, this is looking sort of like what you would want a second attempt to be like. It's some work, but it's still within control. They're going to go for the record now, I think.
Yeah, well, they'd have to go for 119.
This will not last long.
Because they need a kilo more than the existing record to break the record. You can't get it by equaling it. Right. And, you know, I mean, Wang Mingwan, who actually won this title back in 2005, and that was her hat trick. Actually, she didn't do 3 in a row, but she won it in 2002, 2003, and then that slightly controversial 2004 Olympics, where Nurjan won it.
Right. And I'm sorry, David, what is her PR in the clean and jerk in competition?
In competition that we know about.
That we know of, I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. 116 last year in the Worlds is the best that I can see recently.
Okay, so
for a 204 title. Now she's already a kilo up on the overall from last year.
Right. So
and she's way ahead of what she had to do in the Asian Championships.
They got her in for 117, and that's what they're sticking with. I'm wrong. If they're just going for a new PR at a World Championship.
Yeah, just going to double check that one. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Yeah, 48 junior women's world record is 118, set in Doha back in 2005.
This will be, she's got 5 good lifts. This would be
6 out of 6.
6 out of 6 if she makes it.
So this would be a replication of last year when she did 6 out of 6. But, you know, maybe this puts the frighteners on the Turks, you know, that you've got a lifter here who can, you know, now in 2 world championships could be doing 12 out of 12.
Yeah.
And they haven't yet unleashed her.
And she does.
Well, it's a perfect set, 6 out of 6. And a very straightforward day at the office.
Yep.
The only athlete in this session with 6 perfect lifts to end the session.
So she wins this class by, is it 20 kilos?
Yeah, just have a look at this. I mean, 207.
I think she just obliterated the competition. I think 20 kilo lead, I believe.
Yeah, started with a 30 kilo spread, and
she went with 207. Second is 187.
Yeah, 187 is Kamsiri. That's 13-20 kilos, spot on.
Yeah, huge margin in a class, in this class. Huge margin in any class, but particularly in the 48 kilo class to win by 20 kilos.
But it's interesting that, you know, you've got to go back to 2003 when Wang won this with 200. Since then, nobody has won this with, nobody's won the Olympics or the World Championships with less than 210.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to say we've got time. We can stay for the medal ceremony, which is really nice. And just to confirm, the gold and the overall title in the women's 48 kilos has gone to Tian Huan. The silver medal has gone to Panida Khamsiri, and the bronze overall to Nurdan Karagos. We'll be back for the ceremony after clean and jerk. 20 kilos near ahead of Panida Khamsiri, Khamsri, I should say, who